Okay, so I'm going to the Microsoft Store and let me see. Yeah, this is a Microsoft Store, and I'm gonna download the Ubuntu version. I'm going to download the Ubuntu version now. So search in the search app, just type Ubuntu, hit enter. And so before you hit Ubuntu, if you type Linux, you will see various flavors of Linux. So for example, we have Kali Linux, we have SUSE, and we have Oracle. So we have Ubuntu, so on and so forth. Now I'm going to download Ubuntu. Just click on Ubuntu, and this is a 22.04 version. So just click on install. So this will take most probably it has 500 GB of OS. If you scroll down, it will tell you the information. Yeah, so approximate size is 563 MB. So based on your internet speed, it will download. So maybe it will take 5 minutes. So let's pause the video for 5 minutes until it gets downloaded. Okay, so I think it's downloaded, and let me click on open. So when you click on open for the first time, Ubuntu, the same thing is happened here. So if you click on your start button, if you type Ubuntu, the same thing comes up here. If you get an error message like this, okay, just like how I got it, which got exit out. So if you type Ubuntu here, if you enter, so if you get a message like this, okay, so for that you need to execute a command from your PowerShell or from your command prompt. First you open the PowerShell, yeah, and then you need to execute this command, which is there in my GitHub link, the report link, which I'll paste it in the description. Please follow that. So the command is like this: wsl.exe set default version space 2. Okay, now so this is, we are just setting up the WSL version from 1 to 2. Once this gets completed, you just exit out from the PowerShell, and then you open Ubuntu. Just type Ubuntu, you'll get the Ubuntu screen. Okay, so if you get the same message again, then you need to execute one more command, open PowerShell. Okay, once it is done, then you have to type WSL unregister space, and then Ubuntu hyphen 22.04, hit enter. Okay, there is no distribution like this. So what we will do is we will just WSL L V. Okay, so you're getting this version detail. So we will just give the same version Ubuntu here, just only Ubuntu, hit enter. Okay, now it got unregistered. So it just got unregistered Ubuntu. Okay, which is good. Now exit out of PowerShell, go back to the Linux, Ubuntu, hit enter. Okay, now it's working. So now if you see, it says installing. This may take a few minutes, so let's wait for a couple of minutes. And also this will ask you to enter or create a new user name and password for this Ubuntu machine. Okay, so for that, so I'm gonna give something like Samir-Linux, and then the password you just give like this. Password. Okay, password did not match. Okay, so password is updated successfully. Now you're in the terminal. Yeah, so now you can type just like ls-lrt. So it's an Ubuntu. Yeah, so people who love Linux, they love this. Now what's the next step? Next step is so if you can open PowerShell and you can execute your Docker or Linux commands, or you can open the DOS prompt, or you can open the git bash. Now we have Ubuntu now. So what we will do is we will just try to run Docker. No, it says something. Okay, it says Docker could not be found in the WSL2 distro. Or if you type Kubectl, it is not working. So which means that you cannot, Docker run hello world or anything, it will not work. So you don't need to install Docker or Kubernetes in this Ubuntu WSL 2 version. No, what we have to do is, if you see this error message, it says, hey, you have to do something on Docker desktop. So that is what, it says, we recommend to activate the WSL integration in Docker desktop settings. So it's saying you have to do something in Docker desktop. So what we will do is we will open the Docker desktop. If you click on Docker Desktop, yes, Docker Desktop is open. Now go to settings here. Once you click on settings, go to resources. Now in the resources, click on WSL integration here. And here there is something called Ubuntu. Just enable the Ubuntu and then click on apply and restart. Now this will take a minute or two to get it implemented. Once this is done, in the meantime, what you can do is, here if you type Docker again, okay, it's still not working. So what I'll do is I'll just exit out from Linux, and let me open it again. This might take a minute or two, but I'm just trying before that. I hope it works. If you type Docker, I think it's working. It's doing something. If you see, we did not get any error messages like how we got it before. Yes, it is working. Right now, the next thing is, so Samir, how about Kubectl? Okay, Kubectl, yes, Kubectl is also working, which is a good sign from Ubuntu. Now the next thing is, if you type Docker PS, yes, Docker PS is also there. Good. Now if you see okay, let's see Kubectl get PO. Yes, it is fine. So all the Docker and Kubectl commands are working. So the Linux users, no need to worry that we don't have anything in Windows. No, you can install Ubuntu just like that. Okay, so that's all, guys. So please make use of this step. So in the next video, we will slowly talk about what is Kubernetes, what was before Docker, what was before Kubernetes, and what all the various components inside Kubernetes, and what do you mean by cluster. We'll slowly talk about. I'm thinking of doing it in hands-on, and then later I thought of explaining in practical, in a reverse engineering way. So let's see how it goes, guys. So for this video, that's all. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you. So if you're not comfortable the Ubuntu, what you can do is, if you're good with Kali Linux or something, you can have two flavors of Linux also. Yeah, so you can go ahead and click on get install Kali Linux. The Kali Linux will be installed. So you have two flavors. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so let's see how that goes. So now if you see Kali Linux is downloaded, let me click on open, and so it's saying something, failed to attach disk, the system cannot find the file specified, press any key to continue. So you have to do the same kind of mechanism what we did for Ubuntu. Okay, so for example, I mean, I'm not saying you have to have Ubuntu and Kali Linux together. At least you should have either one or this. But since I'm using two just for the explanation, what I will do here is, let me go to PowerShell. Okay, now I'm going to execute the same command, WSL unregister. Instead of Ubuntu, I'm going to give, okay, before that, let's try this command, -l-v. So you have something called Kali Linux, right? So what I'll do here is, WSL unregister, and then I'm going to give Kali Linux here. Okay, operation completed successfully. Let's close this and search for Kali Linux. Let's see what happens. Now see, installing this may take a few minutes. Now Kali Linux is working. So this is how you have to do this. So I would suggest either you keep Ubuntu or Kali Linux. But I'm just going to use both, just showing this, environment. So I'm gonna create a new user, linux-sam something, and then password. Done. Password is updated successfully. So now what we will do is, if you type Docker here, so you're getting the same issue. So what we will do is, we will come back to Docker desktop, go to settings, enable the Kali Linux here, Yeah, so you have to go to settings, guys, and go to resources and go to WSL integration and click on Kali Linux and click on apply and restart. Yeah, now once this is done, okay, in case if you don't see Ubuntu or Kali Linux here, then make sure that you run this command wsl.exe space I have already mentioned in my GitHub commands, GitHub repo. So you have to execute this command first in case if you don't see Kali Linux or Ubuntu, whatever you have installed. Okay, remember that, guys. Now this is done. Now let's scroll down and then let's exit out, and then I'm gonna type Kali Linux again. Okay, so now if you type docker, see, it should work. Yes, it's working. Just type kubectl. Okay, kubectl is also working. Just type docker ps, it's working. Kubectl get po, okay, that's also working. So perfect. So you guys know what we have to do, right? So you can try Ubuntu or Linux, anything, whichever is favorite for you. So that's all for today's video, guys, and in the next video I'll talk about Kubernetes components, how it is working, what is it, blah 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 blah. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.